Hardship exception, according to our Bobby Marks, the contract is non-guaranteed. Salary of $1.65 million, cap hit of $1.04 million, which is always important because that's still a lot of money. There you see the swagster. He was on Twitter today already in his Nuggets shirt. What do you guys think? Good fit?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think Swaggy's a good fit anywhere he goes, but there's a reason why he was unsigned as long as he was. He won a championship, obviously, in Golden State, but I don't know if he or they were as happy as the role he played, so
you were around him a lot in the Golden State.
Very entertaining.
The era, should we call it the Swaggy P era in Golden State?
Yeah, I think it's
not defined by Kevin Durant or Steph Curry. It's defined by Swaggy P. There we go. Welcome to The Jump. I am Rachel Nichols alongside Mark Spears for The Undefeated, and a big welcome back shout out to Ramona Shelburne.
Okay.
Woo! She's back, baby. Coming up, the Lakers are reportedly eyeing a trade with the Suns to acquire veteran wingman Trevor Ariza. We will definitely be getting to that in a moment, but first, LeBron James and DWade Wade have been through pretty much everything in their 16 years together, from opponents to teammates and back again, and well, back again. They have always made it clear that their bond is much deeper than basketball and will last much longer than their time in the NBA, which is a good thing, since with Wade having already announced he will retire at the end of this season, tonight's Heat-Lakers game will likely be the final time they share a court together. But if this is how the public phase of their relationship ends, how did it begin? When I sat down with LeBron and Dwayne last year, we got into that as well as a whole mess of other stuff. So we thought we'd have a little fun here at The Jump and revisit the league's most high-profile friendship. I want to go back to the beginning of the friendship here. 2003, pre-draft camp.
Wow.
You were sitting in the training room waiting and waiting and waiting because they made you wait.
Yeah.
And who strolls in?
This guy. I'm sitting there and I'm waiting because I'm down the totem pole, at the time. And this guy walks in. I'm like next too.
Okay.
But then he walks in, boom, and the doctor see him right away.
You just cut the line.
But you could have came in and was like, no, let DWade go first. He been here longer. You just came in like, I'm the #1 pick. This is my draft. Move out the way.
No, see what happened was
that was the first time we had conversation. It was just like an instant kind of like, you got a connection with somebody.
You guys obviously got closer as the years went on, but when you were in Miami, how did that just forge you guys together?
When we lost in the finals that first year, and to be in those moments and be very vulnerable in those moments, and not care that the other person see you in that space, that helps the relationship grow.
I started with that Bahamas trip after we lost.
Yep.
You guys, that was the first vacation?
We took a Bahamas trip.
Yeah, we went to the Bahamas.
First day was depressing.
Yep.
We was just depressed for like the first day.
Yep. We sat around, we had a little house, we just sat around the kitchen table and just, I don't even like to think about it. Yeah. That trip right there definitely got it going in the right direction.
Yeah.
You talk about seeing each other at low moments. You were going in that stretch in Miami, you were going through your custody battle that was real rough.
Yeah.
And then you got the boys to come live with you for the first time.
Yeah.
You're a full-time dad for the first time. For both of those things, how is having such a close friend helpful for you?
It definitely was huge for me when I was going through the ugly divorce that I went through and an ugly custody battle with the kids, to know that, hey, deal with what you got to deal with. We got you on this end.
The example that set coming from someone that never encountered a father growing up, to see one of your best friends gain custody of his kids.
Fight for
it, and say like, listen, I want my kids. That helped me become a better father as well.
And I remember you telling me at one point, you're calling him, what time do you put these kids to bed? Like, how do you
rough.
get them ready for school, right?
It was rough. But those first couple of days, they was like 8 and 3, and it was just me getting up, 5 o'clock, waking them up, them going back to sleep, waking them up, having to feed, my chef wasn't there yet. It was just a lot of stuff. I just was like, yo, I need help.
For sure.
And there he was for you.
For sure.
He was there for you.
For sure.
I needed help. So people don't see that.
Yeah.
People don't see it. People see LeBron James and DWade Wade that plays basketball. They don't see the real life humans, two real life people that have a relationship and a bond and similar things that go on in their lives and things that they help each other with, et cetera,
All right, so I have some friendship true and false to end this up here. Dwayne told me last week, and this is your true or false to see whether he's telling the truth or not. Dwayne says he was peer pressured into the banana boat that he did not want to get on it.
He told you what?
Yep.
I don't know if that's true or false. It sounds false.
But what we did we ended up doing what I knew we was gonna do when we got on the banana boat. We fell off that mug so fast. So fast.
There's no picture of that.
No, we hit the water so hard.
So hard.
So there's this morning TV talk show clip of DWade Wade and Gabrielle Union talking to Kelly Ripa. And Kelly asks, who is the cheapest guy in the NBA? DWade Wade says, LeBron James.
LeBron.
Who is it?
True or false?
That is so falsely true. That is so falsely true.
That is so falsely true.
Yeah.
He ain't using his phone if it ain't Wi-Fi.
I'm not turning on data roaming. I'm not buying no apps. I still got Pandora with commercials.
You know you're rich, right?
I'm not paying for it. I'm not paying.
True.
True.
True. True.
It's free, right?
Nah.
All right, now you can true or false in.
All right.
LeBron is or is not jealous of your hair?
Oh, he's definitely jealous of my hair. Do you see these curls? He's definitely jealous. Look at that.
First of all,
Why all your interviews?
I don't understand how you so old with all that hair. That's killing me. And that's why I do all my interviews like this.
Like, last true or false, you guys are indeed peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, I'm jelly though. I'm jelly.
No, I think you peanut butter. I think I'm jelly.
Nah.
I think
Hell
you peanut
no.
butter.
Peanut butter dry.
Peanut butter strong.
Peanut butter dry.
Peanut butter consistent. It don't miss games. You know, you can eat peanut butter without the jelly sandwich. You can just have a peanut butter salad. You can't just eat a jelly sandwich.
No, you can't.
Like
You're the glue. You
300,000,
stick. Everyone sticks to. Am I doing that
yeah,
right?
people stick to him. 'Cause
Right.
You're peanut butter. I'm jelly.
Sign him to a deal. We should, you know.
Wow. I mean,
So good.
Forget us. Just keep playing.
exactly. There's more of that in the vault. We'll air that someday. There were some outtakes from that we can't put on
I bet.
television right now. But I will say this. Look, this friendship between the two of them were at the core of it, and then of course also Chris Paul and Melo. But the two of them who went to go play together in Miami. What would you guys say, Mark? What's the legacy of that friendship and the way it reverberated throughout the league?
One thing that stood out to me was the respect that LeBron had. I mean, you're the best player in the game, and when you go to Miami and you're not trying to take over, he respected Wade County. He was introduced first, not last. And he let his aura just naturally be there instead of walking in and saying he was a face of the franchise, which he could have done. So that, to me, showed a lot of respect for Wade and his legacy in Miami.
I mean, flat out, they changed the league.
I mean,
I think that we always refer to the decision in 2010 as LeBron's decision, but it was as much Dwayne's decision and Chris Bosh's decision. And the fact that three players got together and decided, we're going to come together and form a super team. That has not happened in the league before. Other super teams have been formed, but not in that way.
And not by player agency.
Not by player
agency. And I think their friendship is so important in that we don't talk about it enough because, first of all, the trust that they had to have in each other to do that is something that I think if they hadn't had that at the base of it, it would never have happened in the first place, and it wouldn't have worked. And then also, you know, the idea that when they were there, they could sort of work through the hard times, and they've been open about that too. It was not all roses playing together either time. And the fact that they could always come back to each other and sort of that base friendship they had made it work and then made other teams and players around the NBA.
And, you know, I always look at their friendship and, you know, we saw what happened last year in Cleveland, and I think that's sort of a postscript to this. But I go back to this conversation I had with Dwayne after LeBron left Miami to go back to Cleveland. And I asked him, I go, was that hard for you? Because you're breaking up the super team. Right. This is, you know, in your heart, it's probably not going to win anymore now that LeBron's leaving. And he was on the plane with him going back to Miami.
From Las Vegas to Miami after he made the call to go back to Cleveland.
And Dwayne said, didn't you try to like lobby him? Didn't you try to talk him back in? And he goes, no, look, I just said, go do what's best for LeBron. I'm your friend. I'm going to care about you no matter what. And if this is what's best for you, then I want what's best for you. And that's real friendship. And you don't see that very often in a high stakes game like professional sports.
Mark, not everyone's been happy about it. These guys, even before they played together in Miami, when they were opponents in Cleveland and Miami, they'd stay at each other's houses for opposing road games. They'd go out to dinner. And there were a lot of people, old school, who would say, oh, back in the day, Larry Bird would never have dinner with Magic Johnson. Well, how do you think they changed the way people look at that? Because they ushered in more of that AAU era of, hey, it's not like the first time we've met is in the NBA. We've all been friends for a while here, guys.
And we got to give Bosh some credit for being a part of that as well. Because he was certainly an all-star and somebody that was an elite player in the league. And, you know, Bill Russell and Wilt went to dinner. You know, so much is made of it. But it was amazing because it was three guys that respected each other, that got together, and all of them had so much to lose. And I just remember how much pressure they had on them. And it didn't start out great, not in the least. And the Dallas thing wasn't great. And LeBron took a lot of heat from that, but no pun intended. But they collectively were something special. And I think Miami, some Heat fans might say different. They need to retire his jersey. LeBron's jersey at some point.
I certainly would expect that. We'll see what happens. I want to get to LeBron's current team, though, and the Lakers, because league sources telling Adrian Wojnarowski the Lakers are engaged in talks to try to acquire Trevor Ariza from the Suns. It's interesting to note Ariza cannot be traded until December 15th. That's this coming weekend. There are a lot of teams interested in scooping him up. So, Ramona, the question is this stuff coming out 6 days in advance because the Suns are trying to drive up the price for Trevor? Hey, LeBron might get him. Everybody else jump on in. Or because the Lakers really are the most likely landing spot because, you know, LeBron wants him.
Right. I mean, maybe all of the above, right?
Okay.
And you know, obviously the Lakers have had. They've already worked with Phoenix on a trade, so that channel is open. Ariza would help them, but he also would complicate some things because there's already not enough minutes to go around on the perimeter. When you talk about Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram and all the other players that they have on the perimeter who he would be taking minutes away from. And I think the big question is, if you're the Lakers, do you want to give up anybody right now? If KCP can be involved in this trade and he agrees to it, he gets a chance to agree to a trade, then maybe you do something, but do you also have to give up a draft asset? Do you have to give up something else to get Trevor Ariza? At this point, I don't know that they're in a position to do that when you could theoretically wait for him to come on the buyout market later in the year.
I think there's some gamemanship by James Jones here. He's a very smart guy. I don't see him wanting to get a rep as the Lakers assistant GM, so to speak. But the amazing thing about the Lakers is I thought they were going to get better perhaps at the trade deadline. I thought they were going to get better as veterans were waived after the trade deadline and pick up guys. They're getting guys now. Like Tyson Chandler, the record has been great since he got there. If they could get Ariza, I hate to say it, but they're becoming a Western Conference Finals contender.
If they get Ariza or now?
They're slowly becoming one now. I didn't see that before the season started, but they're just getting better and better, faster than I thought they would. And I don't think even whether Ariza comes or not, it's not the last of a veteran coming there. There's going to be somebody else coming.
I mean, it is interesting. The West seems, we certainly know the Golden State Warriors will be there at the end. Who else will be sort of the final contender in the West? The Rockets don't look like the Rockets of last year. How much do the Lakers feel internally it could be them?
I mean, they just wake up that you can be in second place right now, right? I mean, they're playing so much better than they have throughout the season, and they're not even good yet. Like, I think that's the general sense around this team. It's
and
like,
you got to beat LeBron 4 times in the playoffs. We can never forget that, right?
There's a long way to go, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I do expect, look, the Nuggets have been doing well. I do expect some of these other teams to sort of get their act together. And we're still waiting on the Rockets. I don't think that their fate is completely written for the season yet. So we'll have to see what happens. But it's interesting. It's certainly interesting. Coming up, is Luka Doncic running away with the Rookie of the Year after going on an 11-0 run all by himself over the weekend? We will discuss. But first,